bills for June 14 through 30, 2007, in the amount of $4,633.44 as follows. Coleman and Page PC General, $4,163.94. Coleman and Page PC Labor, $201.50. Thompson West, $268, for a total of $4,633.44.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Spino, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Just one comment. I would have expected some bills regarding Eisenhower.
I'm sorry.
Eisenhower litigation.
That's right, and what we've done is the remaining balance in that account we've encumbered, so that if any Eisenhower bills do come in, even though it's after the deadline, we'll be able to pay them from encumbered funds.
So we just have to see.
That's right.
Okay. On the motion, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Charter accounts. Somebody. Is this what we already have this, or is this something?
No, this is new. This gets into what, yeah, what has to be done.
How are you, Joe?
Looks such a simple. Yeah, let me look this. Yeah. Oh, good. Look at this, we just got two-sided on the blue.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it's tough. Show, before you give away your last copy, I'd like to have a copy myself.
Oh, I have plenty.
Thank you. I have two. Thank you.
You have to know.
Well, yeah, I think this is, it's 8 pages.
Is this the one we
So
have?
we have the blue at the very end.
Yes, the municipal.
Yep.
Yeah, we have
Right
it.
here. Yeah, it's double covered.
This,
It's double covered, Joe.
this shows what we have to do in order to create a chart of accounts. It's not a simple task. It's not something that we can just take our existing numbering structure and just drop it into the new munis accounting system. What we have to do is we have to comply with certain state regulations, like the Department of Revenue revised the UMIS accounting system back in 2003. GASB 34, which we have to report certain things in a certain way in order to be uniform. If you look at this, there's 10 tasks. No, there's more than 10 tasks, but each task has to be done separately and individual. In other words, you can't move on to the second one until you do the first one, and that has to be right, and then you move on to the second task. You've got to make sure that's correct before you move on to the third. One of the key things is the schools and the town's reporting requirements. We have to meet certain requirements. The school has to submit their end-of-year report. We have to make sure we account for all the items that needs to be presented at that report. The town prepares a Schedule A, which is a complete report of the town's revenues and expenditures. We have to present a balance sheet that's in conformity with the rest of the state. And it just takes time to build this. This isn't something that the town can do by itself. Even though we're calling it a consultant, he's gonna build it, he's actually gonna do the work. We will assist him a little bit. You know, he'll have us do some of the tasks, but he's actually gonna build this chart of accounts, test it, move from one test to the next until we get to the end. And hopefully when we get to the end, we'll have a complete chart of accounts. And this particular consultant, I've talked to a couple of consultants who are trying to get the best price. And he anticipates it's a good 3-month project. And that's him working full-time with us, giving him some type of assistance. Some of my colleagues who I call for advice now and then, who I think who do a good job in this field of, you know, of accounting or finance director. They have all hired consultants, in order to get this job, this step right. This has to be right before we actually convert to that new accounting system. So that's why the need is to hire a consultant. I think, like I said before, it's more than a consultant, somebody that's gonna actually build the chart of accounts for us. And when we have a finished product, it should be correct.
Joe, what's the timeline for this? When does this start, and when will we have the chart of accounts into the system and start to
Well, the
transfer?
chart of accounts should be done probably by the 1st of December. We're hoping to go live July 1, I think. The TA and I decided that was the best time, Greg.
July as opposed to?
July 1.
Yeah, we don't want to do a mid-year break because of the fiscal year.
So we're gonna, this way we get to take our time with the chart of accounts and everything else. We don't have to rush anything to,
Okay, so my only, Mr. Chair, my only question is, if you're gonna do that, when do you anticipate starting the process? And it's being 3 months.
I guess anytime, because,
So, I mean, I'm just thinking about the lag time. If you're not gonna implement it till July 1st,
then once you get on, you run a test. You run,
are you gonna run simultaneous?
yeah, on a test basis to see how we're doing for a few months. So hopefully, if we cut over July 1st, there should be no problem. Should be no problem.
Joe, is the Munis software installed yet?
No, actually, they've been in touch with me. They want to come and do a kickoff meeting where they talk to all the key players and tell them what they expect. They'll tell us what they expect of us, and
What is the plan for that? And what hardware is this equipment going to, what server is it going on? I mean, is this all, are they providing this package,
well, we have
including the
software.
hardware?
No, we need a server. Well, the town needed a new server anyways. It'll come up later in Greg's capital plan, or the town's capital plan. The servers we have are just not adequate for what we're doing. And if we're gonna go on this new accounting system, we either have to get a separate server, or we can share another server that perform other functions. I believe our IT person feels it's best to share a server because it's capable of doing that.
If I may comment, I wouldn't.
Well, if it gets funding, then we can do it. If not, we'll have to piggyback on somebody.
Well, we're making an important investment here in this new system, right? We put the funds out for the software package and implementation. And if we don't have a server to run it on, then we need to take care of that too. And, we're making an investment
Right.
here to assure ourselves of solid, reliable, new accounting system. It's gotta work.
The other stumbling block, which I hope isn't stumbling, is the connectivity with Comcast to the schools. Supposedly we're able to connect. I mean, it was tested not too long ago, according to our IT department. We just have to make that connection with the schools in order to feed information back and forth. So
Well,
that,
if the INET isn't working, right, you can run a VPN between the two schools. It's not a lot of money.
This is one of the places the end is working, between the town hall and middle school.
that was checked, and it was, and then they said they checked them all, and everything works between the town hall and the school.
Okay.
So hopefully there's no stumbling block that will enable us to connect.
So,
When this group came in for the bid, how many hours are they going to put on this? Did they tell you how many hours? Over the 3-month period?
Well,
They
this,
didn't do it by the hour, bid it by the hours?
well, he bid it by, I guess based on what other communities have done, like, I think they've done Reading for a little bit more. They're doing Reading right now for a little bit more, we're a little bit smaller, so we get a reduced rate. I mean, we get a reduced rate, we get a cheaper rate because we're a little smaller than Reading. This person, there's a background of him in the back. He's, if Munis asks questions, if they have to develop things or new features, they will consult with him, as well as the other person that we've talked to about performing this service. This person I know will be here. The other consultant might send some of his, some of the staff, but this one will come here personally.
And he'll take it from start to finish regardless of the time you put in, is what he's saying. So
Right,
for a
right.
flat fee,
Right,
flat fees.
and I told him what we could spend, and
Yes, Jim.
Joe, in your presentation, maybe I read too much into what I heard. A couple of times you said that we should be ready to go when he was done. I mean, is there something that could be a stumbling block that we wouldn't be ready, or
oh, no, we should be, we have plenty of time.
okay, I just didn't know if there was something in there that could,
I mean, if we wanted to push, we could almost go January first.
oh, no, I'm just trying to.
With some of the modules, but then there'd be
Okay.
too big of a lag between, the next set of modules.
Yep, that's fine.
You're not talking about running two systems at the same time?
No.
Okay.
We'll run a test system while our work that's live is on the current system.
And Munis provides for adequate backup procedures, and you're backing everything up,
Yes.
right?
yes.
So I mean, I think you can share a server if you're backing everything up, but that's really the key, is to make sure that because you lose your accounting system, you've got real trouble. So,
Mr. Chairman, as far as Munis though, they're providing some technical expertise in relation to the transition.
Right, yes.
And don't get me wrong, I think the consultant is a good idea. My concern is, and I know we have limited human resources, we're a very small department.
Right.
Once this consultant steps aside, how much training is gonna take place with yourself and the rest of the staff that's there, so that,
We have training built into the contract with the unions. We should have adequate training. And unlike the system we have now, we'll have some manuals to refer to. Right now, there isn't a manual that you can go look something up on how to do it.
No, you're also gonna have continuing Munis support.
Community support. And I know this gentleman, from, I took a course with him when I had to study for the auditor's accountant exam. He's very good. If I call him with a question, he's not gonna hang up on me or send me a bill. It's a simple question.
I understand it's gonna facilitate the process, which is
Right.
essential. I just wanna be sure that, when the consultant's finally out of the picture, we have adequate training in place prior to his leaving, and Munis support will be adequate to answer all our questions. I don't need a third party to come in, handle it for us, build that chart of accounts and handle it for us, and then take off.
No, I don't expect that. He has a good reputation.
I'm not worried, I'm worried about us. Are we going to have the time internally to devote to learn the system? Over the time frame that you're talking about? And then I think,
I think
you're
we
talking
will.
about 8
Almost
months
a
here,
year.
yeah, almost a year, well, 6 or 8 months to do it.
Yeah, so I worry about that time to do the chart of accounts.
So that's, that's good, but one of the reasons we need the consultant is because we don't have the human resources to devote.
Right. And I don't think any town does. It's just, it is that involved, it's that complex. And you can't afford to make a mistake, hopefully.
No, right, it's just, I think some of us had a question initially as far as what Munis provides for support for the transition. Was it gonna be adequate enough, or did it really warrant or justify hiring a consultant to assist us in doing so? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that, we get limited human resources, so that hopefully it's gonna augment us. I just wanna make sure that we glean as much as we can out of it
And hopefully
before
we'll
they
be-
exit.
And hopefully